What's going on, Dub Nation? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, and Golden State has taken a commanding 3-1 lead over the Houston Rockets in the first round of the playoffs, and that is great news for the Warriors and Warriors fans everywhere. But Golden State got answers, in my opinion, to the major question that's been looming heading into this postseason run. We're going to discuss what that answer was and who stepped up for Golden State on today's show, plus a little bit of a Game 4 reaction on the back half. But before we get into that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We had a wonderful time last night on our watch party. Over 300,000 people tuned in. It was a blast, and I want you to be a part of the next one. Subscribe to the channel and help us get to our next milestone of 88,500 subscribers. I need 184 diehard Warriors fans to go down below and hit that big red sub button for free, entertaining Warriors content every single day. All right, the biggest question heading into this postseason is, kind of alluded to it a little bit, who would step up in the event that Stephen Curry is not carrying this roster on his shoulders and performing with a masterclass and basically taking over the entire game, putting up 35 plus and willing Golden State to victory? We had to kind of look at which role players would be the guys to kind of step up and make that happen. And Curry did not have a great game in Game 4 against Houston, so other guys had to. And one of those was rookie sensation Quinten Post. He may have not stepped up the most, production-wise. When it comes to a box score and how many buckets he put up, it wasn't the most impactful. But, man, he stepped up and definitely stepped in when Steph Curry got bodied by Dillon Brooks. If you were touching Steph, Quinn Post is one of the first people to get in the mix. Happened later on in the game when Jimmy got bumped as well. Post was first into the scuffle. He's got some dog in him, man. And I've loved what I've seen from QP, being able to give the Warriors a new element of a front court floor spacer and a guy who's really helped develop his game over this season, right? I mean, he was a two-way player for a good while, eventually became a standard contract guy, and now he's being the most impactful rookie in the entire postseason right now. Puts up 13 points in Game 4, 4 boards, 3 assists, and he is battling down there with the Steven Adams. He is battling without Brandin Podziemski, and honestly, he's had to play big minutes, man. 21 minutes per game over this playoff series so far. And yeah, these numbers aren't going to jump off of the screen, averaging 7 and 5. But if you think about it from a further out lens, and you break these games down one by one, in Game 3, he goes out there and has 12 boards, a couple offensive rebounds as well, giving Golden State second chances, which the Rockets have done such a good job at. And then in Game 2, he puts up like 12 points, has a couple of threes. In Game 4, he puts up 13 points, a series high. And yeah, he's not the most efficient player out there, but he is fearless, and he is not afraid to take that quick trigger three when the ball hits his hands. Like I said, Quinn Post has been the most impactful rookie in the entire NBA, across the whole league, in the 2025 playoffs. And, with each game, it seems like he's becoming more and more comfortable and more confident, protecting his carpool driver, Steph Curry, like he did, back when the early season was around, and Steph drove Post home from the airport when they got back from the road trip. Post is that protector, man, and he's been able to hit a bunch of jump shots, and I'm looking forward to seeing him impact this Warriors, rotation and raise the ceiling for Golden State's title hopes as this postseason rolls on. Show some love to Quinten Post. Shout out the Rook in the comment section right now. Give me a QP down below, so Quinten Post, if he sees this video, he knows that Dub Nation is very much behind him. All right, let's get into the other player that stepped up in a big way, because we're talking about role players here. Yeah, we got to get to Jimmy later on in the show, but Pods, man, I don't know how many times I said it during the watch party on Monday night. Brandin Podziemski, tonight is your night, and he was feeling it. Borderline unconscious, 6 of 11 from 3. He was not hesitant whatsoever to launch it from long range. He basically from the get-go was ready to roll and was ready to impose his will on this ball game, with Steph kind of being limited and being denied the basketball in a lot of ways, and he wasn't exactly the most efficient from three-point range. Pods stepped up in a huge way, and he really gets into a rhythm by doing the little things out there on the court, setting charges, playing good defense, getting his hand in there and getting a deflection. And Draymond knows that. Here's what he alluded to after the game. He said the skill is there, but it's his heart. I like to call it irrational confidence. He puts work in, but he has irrational confidence. It's one of those things I actually wish I had. He just has the ultimate belief in himself and his abilities. He's been showing it for the last few months, and he really has. He's been making me eat my words with how I used to speak about Pods, wanting to trade him for Lauri Markkanen. He has stepped into this role, and he continues to do the little things that matter when it comes to wins and losses for Golden State. Like I said, he puts his body on the line, steps in. A couple of major charge takes last night late in the game. What about the block that he had coming from behind on Fred VanVleet with the Warriors only up one with a few minutes remaining? It was 102-101, and he gets beat by VanVleet, and he said in the postgame, he was like, oh, I was okay with that. We know VanVleet's not the best finisher at the rim, and I was just there to try to help Draymond, play a little bit of easier defense. They both collapsed in on him. Pods got his hand on the shot, and Houston was denied another opportunity. Golden State came down and hit a big shot the other way and pushed it to 3. I think Jimmy Butler came down and hit that tough power layup. Steve Kerr said this about Pods. He said, Brandon's big time. Second-year player, but plays like a 10th-year guy. He's got so much poise and confidence. He was obviously a key to everything. Jimmy's arrival was huge for him later on, that he said. Once we got Jimmy, we were running a lot of offense through Jimmy, and that allowed Brandon to play on the other side. He's at his best when he can do that. And yeah, when he's available as a catch-and-shoot threat, Podziemski is awesome for Golden State. To be quite honest, I think the Warriors need Pods to be the third scorer. And maybe not every game. Maybe you get one of these one-offs from a Buddy Hield or a GP2 or even a Quinn Post. But more consistently, game by game, I believe that Brandin Podziemski needs to be the third relied-upon scorer for the Warriors. And I don't think that's like breaking news or anything. He seems to be the best offensive creator. He's really developed that mid-range jumper a little bit and continues to hit outside shots when they present themselves. He's not going to be lights out every single night. He's still going to have those second-year inconsistencies in his game. But it feels like when the lights are brightest and in the biggest moments, Podziemski is at his best and feels the most comfortable. And I'm really, really looking forward to seeing him progress as a player. And sometimes it's the trades that you don't make. Pods has shown Warriors fans that they were right to keep him this offseason. But if you want the Warriors to close this thing out in Game 5, before we move any further with today's show, go down below and hit that thumbs up icon. Like today's video, manifest it, get the good vibes rolling, as there's only one game in between Game 4 and 5. Let's close it out in Houston. Do your part. Don't jinx it. Like the video. All right, next up, we're going to get into some Jimmy Butler news and a Game 4 reaction, because we have to discuss how Jimmy looked out there on the floor in his first game back after that pelvic bruising, after the deep muscle glute contusion, whatever you want to call it, the crazy injury that's happened somehow 3 times now to the Warriors this season. Let's get into it. Jimmy, in Game 4, was a masterclass. I mean, he only had 3 shot attempts in the first half. Ends up putting 9 up in the second half and balling, to be quite honest with you. I think it was 23 second half points, and down the stretch of the game, he was ice cold at the free throw line. It was awesome. He hit 5 in the last, 30 seconds of the game. He gets fouled on a 3 by Dillon Brooks, and then he ends up getting the biggest rebound of the game to clinch it after Draymond played excellent defense on Şengün at the free throw line. Jimmy skies in from the corner. He was looking like a bat out of hell out there, and he ended up saying, it's my rebound. If Draymond plays good defense, it's my rebound. But I want to talk about how Jimmy was feeling, because for the first couple of quarters, man, he was not looking spry. He was not looking like a player that was ready to play a full 48-minute game. And he said to reporters on his Game 4 feeling, did you see me on that chase down on Dillon Brooks? Yeah. If you remember, Jimmy Butler in the second quarter, Steph gives a live ball turnover away. The Rockets get out on the fast break, and Dillon Brooks gets to the rim. Jimmy Butler ends up chasing him down and fouling him. But, man, if you look at him running on that play, he does not look comfortable at all. Barely got off the ground. Luckily, he saved the 2, and Dillon Brooks ended up missing the free throws, which Houston missed 12 free throws in this game. They probably played well enough to win, and Golden State was just able to execute down the stretch. Jimmy, he wasn't feeling great, but he somehow, some way, turned it on in that fourth quarter, and it was kind of because of the outside environment and the physicality and the jawing back and forth of this series. Here's what Butler had to say on it. He said, your body starts to warm up, you start to feel a little better, you gain confidence, people start talking to you. Then good things happen. Listen, we know through the years, what has Jimmy Butler been great at? Using his opponents, jawing back and forth to his advantage and to be the best version of himself and, make big plays down the stretch and step up in a big way. What did Jimmy say? He said people were talking. And people were like, the media members, they were like, oh, who are you referring to? Is that Dillon Brooks? He was like, yup. I don't like Dillon Brooks. I don't like Dillon Brooks either, to be quite honest with you. But he mentioned that they're both fierce competitors. They both do whatever it takes to win. And in my opinion, Dillon Brooks has a little bit more than what it takes to win sometimes. But He and Jimmy obviously don't like each other. They've been going back and forth. Dillon Brooks has been, giving out hard fouls. Jimmy gave him a hard foul last night. Obviously, there is no love lost between these two teams. These two teams do not like each other, and all they want to do is win. And you know what? I like that about Jimmy. I like that he has this fire in him. I like that this Golden State team has that dog mentality, and they've been stepping up and punching back at every hit that Houston has given them. It's been awesome, and I honestly just can't believe that Jimmy just, clocked in and turned on that superhuman mode that he had last night in the second half. Draymond had this to say about it. He said the first 3 quarters, he couldn't move. Not sure how he started moving in that fourth quarter, yet he never complained. He stuck with it. And I mean, is any of us surprised? Are any of us surprised that Jimmy Butler is not complaining out there on the basketball court? I know I'm not. And on that last play that we talked about with Draymond playing excellent defense on Şengün at the foul line, Jimmy, he had this to say. He said, I told Dre, if you get a stop, I will get the rebound. He got the stop. I got the board. I mean, Kerr was in awe. He said it was looking like slow motion out there with Jimmy skying up for that rebound and skying up for the win. He snatched it out of the air. Houston, they left points on the table, and Golden State was able to make them pay. And Jimmy was a big beneficiary of that. He just went at the Rockets, super aggressive in that second half, and continues to stuff the stat sheet, being a connector on offense, finding and setting up, wide open players at the rim. Defense gravitates towards him, and they weren't at first in this game, but as he got more comfortable, they started paying attention, and that ended up resulting in a lot more Warrior buckets, and Jimmy was a big beneficiary of all of that. But before we get any further, we're going to talk about the last couple of players we need to from Game 4. But I want you guys to get dripped out and get fresh for the rest of this Warriors playoff run. We hope it's a long time. Get hooked up with our friends over at Fanatics with this win for the Bay shirt. It's tough. I'm going to have to get one for myself at this link right here, chatsports.com/Warriors playoffs. Go get dripped out today and wear the damn shirts. All right, let's talk about Buddy Hield because, another awesome game from Hield and less turnovers this time around. He honestly was playing good defense as well. Jimmy was talking about how Buddy brought the defensive mentality tonight and kind of set the tone for Golden State. Are we living in upside down land? I don't know, but Buddy over these last 2 games has been a revelation and has been a part of the core of Warriors role players that have needed to step up with, Steph's not having his best stuff in Game 4. He gave you his heroics in Game 3, and the rest of the Warriors roster needed to step up in Game 4. They did so. Draymond, obviously, that last play, what else can you say about it? Listen, I don't even think it was a great shot or a great last possession by the Rockets. You give it to your best player to go to his spot and get the look, and he did. But Draymond, did as good of a defensive job as you could do on that play, and he was all over the place in this game, getting in the mix, really, really playing into the hand of Houston, wanting to provoke him and get him all angry. But he somehow found a way to stay in the game. I think he called himself a habitual line stepper or something like that. He skates a fine line during these games. Ended up getting a technical that was kind of bogus in the beginning of the game, and then ended up getting in the mix with Tari Eason again, where they were thinking about giving him another technical, but didn't want to eject him, and ended up giving him a flagrant. Draymond, it was so close. He had 4 first-half fouls. He's playing into the physicality and the style of play that the Rockets want to play. It's worked out for Golden State so far, but he's going to have to clean it up a little bit as this postseason rolls on. GP2 continues to be in the right places at the right time. He's really a high IQ player, man. And when he gets the ball rolling off of a screen and he's able to quick flick it to the corner to an open shooter, he just knows where people are going to be, and he's been in the system so long where he just fits right in like a glove, no pun intended. He's the mitten. But GP2 continues to play excellent defense and do the right things on offense for Golden State to not help, to limit mistakes on that end and make the opportunities when they're presented to him. Love what GP2's been given. Moody, same thing. Defensively, has been great. Just really hasn't been able to hit that outside shot. Continue to play good defense. Hopefully, you can get into a little bit more of a rhythm. And there's some big games where you step up and it's some big shots. No real complaints from Moody. Golden State got the win. That's all I care about. And to close today's video, we're going to talk about Steph real quick, because there's not much to talk about. Usually we open the videos with Steph as he's putting this Warriors team on his back, but in this game, he didn't really have to. And credit to Houston for limiting him on the defensive end and his opportunities. But Steph didn't capitalize on a ton of his threes. He was 2 for 8 and did a good job at getting people involved, but overall wasn't needed to be Hercules tonight. Didn't need to carry this team on his shoulders. And that's a great, great sign for Warriors fans. They finally get answers to the biggest question of the postseason, man, and that's who will step up if Steph has a game like this. And I think the answer is going to be it's by committee. Turns out in game 4, it's Pods, it's Post, it's Hield, and you get another Warriors win, up 3-1. Can't wait to close them out. Can the Warriors win the NBA Finals? Do you believe in the Dubs? Let me know in the comment section before we get out of here by typing Y for yes or typing N for no. I want to know, what does Dub Nation think about Golden State's title chances? That'll do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel and help us reach our next goal of 88,500 subscribers. And join us on Wednesday for Warriors Rockets Game 5. Going to be a blast. Hope to see you there. We'll see you all in the next one. And as always, let's go Dubs.